Well, hello, everyone in my community. Welcome back. It is a huge month, October. I feel like every month I'm saying that, but this week is really profound. And I have my good friend, Hallie who's a
Hello.
manifestation coach. And if you're in my community, you've heard from her sharing every month what's happening with the new moon. And now we have Hallie, we have a new moon. We have a solar eclipse, and it's all about relationships. And I know I've been feeling this in a really, for me, it's been a very positive way, but I know there's a lot more to be revealed with this eclipse. So talk to us a little bit about what's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, and thank you for having me on as your ongoing manifestation lover of astrology consult. This is, here's something I want to highlight for everybody, because maybe this information is brand new, or maybe they're just kind of peripherally aware of the moon cycles, the moon phases, the eclipses, etc. So we have 2 eclipse seasons every year. So having an eclipse in and of itself is not a rare event. So there's an eclipse season in the springtime, so April, May, and then there's another eclipse season now. It began October 1st and it'll go through mid-November. And each time we have an eclipse season, they last roughly 34 days, and they always include a solar and a lunar eclipse. So this is the first eclipse in this fall autumn eclipse season with the new moon in Libra. And this eclipse is going to be called an annular eclipse. So it's not a total eclipse, it's annular, meaning that it's a portion of the sun will be covered. Certainly if you're in an area where you can view it, make sure, wear the glasses and all the things. You don't want to burn out your retinas. And then we'll be following this up with a full moon eclipse in 2 weeks. So this time of year is really, I think you used the word before, I love revealing of energies, of intentions, of shadows. And it's also really poignant if you have a journal that you keep to go back to where you were last April and May during the eclipse season, the earlier time in 2023, to see what you were setting intentions about, what you were thinking about, what you were feeling, whatever maybe you wrote down in your journal at that point in time. See what has been revealed that you now know that you didn't know 6 months ago. So that, or not quite 6 months ago, but that can be a really powerful journey for yourself.
Oh my God. I mean, I can speak to that. And you reminded me that this is a 6-month journey, right? So whatever you intend now, could be unfolding right for the next
Absolutely
months. So yeah, 6 months ago, I was in a different house. I didn't have my new spiritual name that I go by. I was living kind of in it, but still behind a spiritual closet, not quite ready to come out. There was a lot of things that were hidden from me, and I set some really profound intentions. So I just want to encourage you guys, like, this stuff is so powerful, and my life has completely done like not a 180, but it just feels like I've peeled back a lot of layers of the onion and come out so much stronger and better for being aware of how to leverage the power of these eclipses.
Yeah, that's, I mean, just to honor that, that's beautiful. And I'd never believed that anything happens because of some sort of cosmic event, but the cosmic events allow us to take an inward journey and to reveal what we need to know. And so much of it is already within. It's just, how do we unlock it wherever it's locked into ourselves, whether it's in our heart space, whether it's in our crown chakra, wherever that may exist right now, currently in our being. How do we unlock it so that we can get closer and closer to our truth, to our highest consciousness? And what I particularly love about this new moon phase is that it's in the sign of Libra, and Libra is the sign of harmony and balance. And something that's been really resonant with me recently is the duality of what we all experience in this human 3D existence. Forget just your spiritual life for a moment, but just think about where you exist as a human and all the dualities that we face and are confronted with just living our regular lives, the light, the dark, the good, the bad. We confront chaos, and then we can find the peace. And all of these things can switch on and off in a moment. Sometimes they don't feel that way in the moment, but when we look back, we can say, wow, it really did shift pretty quickly. So Libra brings us back to this place of finding the harmony, but really honoring the duality. So instead of pushing away and resisting the challenges in your relationships or the challenges you feel within your own inner being, how can you allow yourself to sit with that discomfort? How can you recognize sometimes those trials and tribulations that allow you to grow stronger so that you can truly step into the version of you that you want to be? And that's what Libra illuminates for us.
I love that. No, that's so profound. And I love that you tell people also to write this in your journal, guys, because she's also going to give you journal prompts and help you really suck the marrow from the bones, as I like to say. And I 100% agree with you. For me, astrology is just a mirror. It's like our divine guidance, the universe, our galactic family is just holding up a mirror and saying, hey guys, this is what we want you to work on. This is what's possible. You know, you've got the power, and leveraging the power of the energies has been something that I do every month. And that's why I have you on. So tell us what kind of intentions or what can people really focus on manifesting with the power of the solar eclipse and new moon?
Well, what we really want to focus here is, again, it's on relationships. So one of the things I love about that word, because it is so big and it almost can sound a little bit like cheesy, right? Like, oh, I'm going to focus on my relationships. What does that mean? Because obviously we are all in relationship to a lot of things. The work that I do in manifestation, I have 3 pillars that I look to guide my manifestation process when I'm coaching, when I'm living my own life. And those 3 things are your relationship to yourself, your relationship to others, and your relationship to money and time. So I love this framework, especially with Libra, because we're being intentional about how we exist within those relationships. And my belief is that when any of those relationships are out of harmony for any reason, it's just the reminder that that's where we need to focus our intention for whatever amount of time to bring it back into a place of balance, of harmony, so that everything can come back to this beautiful rhythm where we can elevate into living our best life. So in terms of setting intentions for this particular new moon and eclipse, and we talked about this before we hit record, but it's a very powerful time to set intentions, as in you want to be intentional with your intentions. You want to set wishes, dreams, make promises to yourself that you feel really connected to in your heart space. Don't just say something for the sake of saying something, because that sends a very mixed signal both to yourself and to the universe, and that's going to backfire. So when we do that, it doesn't work. So what I would invite you to do is to really take some time to go inward over the next few days. Today is great because the new moon and eclipse isn't until Saturday, the 14th. So it gives us a couple of days to prepare. We all like that, right? It gives us a little more certainty. Spend a little time going inward. That for you might be sitting in quiet. It might be journaling. It might be meditating. It might be doing a hard run, whatever that feels like for you. Do something so that you can go to that inward space and ask yourself a couple of questions. Are there relationships in my life that need some nurturing? On any level? These could be personal relationships, professional relationships, also your self relationship. So just check in. Where do I need to commit a little time? Where do I need to spend a little time nurturing a relationship in my life that feels really important to me? So that's the first thing. The second thing is really looking at your life holistically and noticing where you may feel out of balance. So I just mentioned those 3 pillars that I have: relationship to self, others, and money and time. So bringing some awareness to where do you feel you may have some misalignment currently, and how can you bring back the intention so that you can get into a harmonious rhythm in that part of your life so that everything's working in the way that you want it to be working.
I love it. You just helped me have a little bit of a realization, if I can share.
Please. Yes, please.
I'm glad that you put it in the order of self, others, and then money and time. And when I was out of balance and out of alignment the most, I had it, the order of importance was in reverse. I put my money and time first, others, and then me barely like dead last coming in across the finish line. If I even put time for myself. And
right.
So would you invite people to kind of look at those in that, specifically in that order for that reason?
I mean, that's how I built my practice, because I do feel like the foundation is our relationship with self. If you don't have a connection to yourself, if you don't understand yourself, if you are not aware of yourself, how could you possibly give from who you are to anyone else? And if you can't give to anyone else and connect really to yourself, how can you possibly be as abundant as possible when it comes to money and time? So that's the framework that I use. I have a course called Unleash well, I don't know if we're cursing over here, but I can't remember.
Go for it. Go for it.
Unleash your fuck yes life. And the whole intention of this course is go through these 3 relationship pillars so that you can understand how to really tap into this energy. So yes, I do believe that you do need to start with self, and Libra gives us like full permission to love on yourself, And not that we need that permission, but for so many of us, it wasn't part of our upbringing. It wasn't part of our, our ancestral line. It wasn't something that was talked about, that was discussed. In fact, it was often, shoved down and resisted. So what if we instead are to open up? And I know you're so, beautiful at helping people on that journey to open up into themselves so that they can truly transform into this harmonious rhythm in their own life.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. I know some of my communities listening right now. We have a ceremony on Saturday, and it's going to be, we always, my husband and I are bringing people back to self-love and self-compassion, because like I said, I was on the extreme
right
of that. And it's cool. It's cool if this helps anyone, just to know that, like, because I finally got the message, took a few blows to the head with the hand, seemed like, but
don't we all?
I know, right? So focusing on my self-love and self-compassion actually made relationships that were no longer serving me just fall away naturally.
Yep.
Also, because I know, isn't that a little bit about what this eclipse is about, is some like endings as well?
Well, anytime we're calling in something new, we have to make space for it by something else ending. Yeah. So yes. And we'll be focusing more on the release in our full moon eclipse.
Okay.
So that, the lunar eclipse is really where we're going to be doing more of that release work. But yes, anytime we set intention for anything new to come up, yes, something has to fall away. We can't hold all of it simultaneously. But here's something that is going to be unique to this time versus any other kind of typical new moon, which is that in an eclipse time, it is likely that you will receive signs, you will receive, intuitive hits. You may feel something like some sort of a bodily sensation when it comes to, a connection with somebody. And it may feel like really confusing, and you may not understand the sign, the intuitive hit, the body sensation. It just comes, you're like, what is that? So this is a really great opportunity to write that down, because what you receive now in that way will most likely be revealed to you at some point in the next 6 months. I mean, it could come really like sometimes in an eclipse, you get really fast turnover, like almost like that kind of overnight success situation. But more often it's something so transformative that it has to evolve over time. And so you'll get the hit now, but you won't know what it means. So the thing that I want to remind you is just don't dismiss that. Really take your time and honor it and be aware of it, even if you don't get it.
Yeah, if I can throw this out there, because this download just came in, and because I was thinking about this time of year as opposed to April.
Yeah.
This is the way I'm going about this too, because the veil is thinner right now. We're
right
heading towards the Day of the Dead, Samhain ancestral like season. You can really connect. And if you're looking at me, I'm always looking at how can I heal more for my ancestors, because then I'm healing my children and, all of the generations back. So this is a really profound time, because then the next 6 months is leading us right through, the darkest night of the year, and
yep.
all of these different holidays that come up that can be really challenging for people. And this is a great time, I think, to heal and speak to those ancestors. What do you think?
I think that's beautiful. And I think, if we can start to change our connection to dealing with things that feel difficult, we can get through these times much more easily, because it's like I mentioned earlier, there's always this duality. Things feel great, things feel terrible. It's always like that. It's literally always like that. But we forget, but it's normal, but we forget because our brain wants to keep us safe. So here's where like the human part comes in. And so it protects us by forgetting the pain. It's almost like an amnesic effect. And we only remember the positives. We forget the hard stuff because we don't want to sit in it. But imagine if you can sit with whatever feels hard on whatever level it feels hard, and you can just be with it. You can be with your fear. You can be with your tears. You can be with your discomfort. Imagine that, how powerful that is to truly heal. to see your shadows, to honor your true self, and imagine how you show up so beautifully in your relationships. I mean, this is something that I personally work on, and I think about it a lot, is how can I be okay sitting in the discomfort? And it sucks. It really is hard. And yet when you do it and you keep surrendering to it and you allow for it, man, it opens up possibilities that you didn't even know existed. So that's kind of how I look at this intenseness of this eclipse, is what a gift we're all given to be able to sit in some shit. We can sit in it. We can do this. We can do the chaos. And because we are resilient and strong, so many beautiful, magical gifts are going to be revealed to us. So many truths. So there's the duality.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. 100%. I'm with you. The more I look at my shadow, the more light can come through, and the more I make friends with my ego, my shadow, because it's really, of course, our ego that's wanting to like protect us, right?
Yep.
From all that darkness. And so I welcome it in. Now, it took me a lot of work to get to that point, though. So
sure, it does, and it's ongoing. It's not like, oh, one and done. I'm good now.
Yeah, your graduation is never ending.
Yeah. I mean, what's that, right? Like, here's your cap. Good job.
The new chapter. This is like another, you guys are writing your next chapter. Like I look at these next 6 months as a new chapter in my story for sure.
Always, right?
Big things. So I know you're really brilliant, and I have my typing fingers ready.
For my affirmations.
Yeah. Do you have the affirmations?
Do you want affirmations or journals first?
Let's do journal.
Okay. Let me just give you, I have a bunch, but I want to give you 2. I want to keep it really simple. So let's see what's calling to me. This one's jumping out to me. So we're going to start with this one. As I am ready to honor my soul contract and live my fullest potential, what energies need to shift? And the follow-up is, am I ready to break through?
Beautiful. All right. I got it. All right. And just so if someone's listening to us for the first time, Hallie, we close with this because you want to help people write, helping write it down makes it more real, and it connects you to your subconscious. And then we do affirmations. Maybe if you want to speak on why we do this too.
Yeah. I mean, for me, journaling is something that's just so powerful in terms of, it's really the portal to your soul. That's how I see journaling. And even if, you read this journal prompt and you're like, I don't want to answer it, but it sparks a thought in you, cool, go with it. There's no right way to journal. All the ways are the right ways. You could just make bullet lists. You can draw pictures. Some people like to scribble, and in their mind, it makes sense. It makes no difference, but the idea behind it, the power behind it is it's the portal to you, to your higher consciousness, to your heart, and to your crown chakra that opens you up to that beautiful connection with the universe and with your higher divine self.
Beautiful.
So yeah. Do you want one more journal? Or are you good with that one?
I'm a triathlete, so everything in 3s. So
okay, perfect. Let's do one more. This one's maybe a little less heavy, but how have I been evolving and growing? And what feels important to my personal evolution in this moment? That's a 2-parter.
Beautiful.
All right. And how about, I'll give you 3 powerful, knock your socks off affirmations. Does that sound good?
Ooh.
Okay. Gosh, I always have such a hard time picking the best ones. We're going to start with, I am divinely guided to experience love. That one just brings me lots of joy. Mm-hmm. Divine peace and harmony surround me. And I am surrounded by loving and peaceful relationships.
Beautiful.
And with affirmations, the reason that we say them is so that we can really connect ourselves, mind, body, spirit, because the act of speaking allows you to both make the vibration with your mouth. You get to hear the words. You get to feel it in your body. You start to create new neural pathways in your mind that start to reprogram how you look at things, both consciously and subconsciously. So affirmations, when used in a really intentional way, will shift your energetic frequency so that you are embodying the words. But you have to really fall in love with the affirmation. And so I always guide, if the affirmation doesn't land with you, that's okay. Maybe only one of those three lights you up, and that's perfect. So go with what lights you up, but I want you to feel it in your body. I don't want you just to say words to say words. I want you to say the words with reverence, with connection, with your own personal power.
Yeah. And I would encourage, I'm with you. Everything to me that's worth doing is done in a kind of a sacred way, in a ritualistic way. That's why we were having a ceremony on Saturday and speaking our intentions out loud and writing them on paper. So I would encourage, maybe as we close, final thoughts on, and forgive me, I know we talked before the show. Now I don't know if it was before or during. The best day to do this would be Saturday, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So the peak of the eclipse is at, I believe it's at 10:55 a.m. Pacific, but the eclipse itself takes several hours. So it starts, I believe, at 8:03 Pacific and ends finally at 1:55. So that's like the entire kind of journey of the eclipse. So if you can be setting your intentions at some time in that window, that would be super cool. But if life doesn't allow for it, or you're not ready, like if you're just not ready, you're not feeling it for any reason, it's cool. Don't feel like, oh my God, I missed it. You didn't miss anything. It's really best to tap into this kind of energy when you're feeling it. So be open to it working out, and also be open to it being at a time that's best for you.
Yeah. Perfect. And anytime that day is great. And we've talked before, even it's like there's a 72-hour window normally, and still, right, if you do it Sunday, Monday, it's still a great time, but Saturday sounds like the best. So I'll be getting this out to my membership community before Saturday. And just thank you so much, Hallie, for your wisdom and invaluable time. Any last words before we wrap it up?
The last thing I want to just remind everyone is that Libra is an air sign. So we want to make sure that we're not like floating up in the air and feeling out of our bodies. So do what you need to do to get into your body. So whatever that means for you, for getting grounded. Something that I've been doing over the last month, really, it's just called to me as like a new ritual, is each evening just laying on the floor in my bedroom and doing some really easy stretches. And it feels really literally grounding to be in that space and to center my body and to recalibrate after whatever goes on during the day. So that's something that has been really powerful for me. But grounding can look like anything. It can look like taking a walk. It can look like sitting still for a few moments. It can be breath work, but doing something to ground yourself, it will be really instrumental in helping you receive the signs, receive the downloads, and to set those intentions that you are really ready to receive.
I love that. Yeah. And that's a great reminder. Anyone in my subscription community, remember, we have breath work inside the vault for that reason, because be able to process these energies too. Like yesterday I was feeling it. It was pretty heavy for me anyway. And so I was right away, okay, breath work. I got to get my breath work in, go hug a tree. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please share this with a friend. We'd love to see you next month when we continue this journey together. Thanks so much.
Thank you.